Yo guys, what's up? It's Adam here. I can't see the guy. Welcome to the Movie Vault. Right, everybody, we're taking a new, different direction here on the Movie Vault, talking about a whole new, different franchise. And speaking of franchises, in my opinion, this movie did not need a franchise. We're still making these movies to this very day. I want to talk about the first Jurassic Park movie, which came out in the year of 1993. And in my opinion, it's one of Steven Spielberg's best films. Definitely. I know he's done things like Indiana Jones, Jaws, E.T., but Jurassic Park definitely by far going to be one of the best ones he's ever made. But Steven Spielberg never fails when it comes to making excellent motion picture movies. And this Jurassic Park that came out in the year 1993, the first one, is an outstanding movie. Sorry, there's an ice cream truck outside. Excuse that noise. He's just going to the other street now. I like Jurassic Park 2. Jurassic Park 3, I remember disliking it at the time when it first came out, but I've seen it since then, and I just think it's alright. It doesn't hold a candle to the first movie. And in my opinion, as much as I enjoy Part 2, that doesn't hold a candle to this first movie either. I know since then we've seen Jurassic World and those other sequels. I mean, they've just made another one starring Scarlett Johansson, and I've not seen those movies, and I have no interest in seeing those movies. Why would you want to bother watching those movies when you can watch this great film which came out the year of 1993, the first Jurassic Park movie? I mean, everything was just so spot on about this movie. I just got done watching it moments ago, and I've seen this movie countless times. In fact, I've seen it that many times I could act in the movie myself and play everybody's role and learn all their lines, and I know everybody's lines, from this movie because I've seen it that many times. This was like the main Jurassic Park film that they show countless on TV loads and loads of times. And I didn't read the novel. Apparently, the novel is much more violent than the movie. From what I hear, that the death scenes are much more gruesome. Where people got attacked by the dinosaurs. Particularly John Hammond's character. I believe he gets torn to shreds by dinosaurs. The owner of the park, the amusement park. Dennis Nedry, I hear that his death was much more gruesome than it was in this movie. A lot of people's deaths were a lot more gruesome in the novel, but I've not read the novel. Steven Spielberg wanted to do like a PG-13 version of the novel, but scary and gruesome enough to make it work. And believe me, I said to myself, how can you make a TV-13 movie scary? How can you make it chilling? How can you make it suspenseful? But it's Steven Spielberg, he did just that. Like the scene, where that guy who smokes that cigarette goes and shuts down the system, and he's got the bloody hand falling on that woman's arm. His death was off screen, but just shooting that scene alone, where the hand falls onto a shoulder, a bloody hand falling onto the shoulder. The sound effects, where one of the hunters is in the forest with the gun, and he's going, "Clever girl," and the velociraptor jumps on top of him, and you can hear the sound effects of him being eaten alive. Dennis Nedry's death, with the Dilophosaurus spits like that venom in his eyes, and he gets blinded, and then the little baby dinosaur eats him alive in the jeep. Although you don't see anything happening, you see the jeep moving around like if someone's having sex in it. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people have done loads of parodies of that scene about Dennis Nedry getting laid in a jeep because it's bouncing around. It's ridiculous, but there you go. But with that being said, Steven Spielberg did a great job of making a PG TV-13 version of the novel, of making this into a movie of Jurassic Park, suitable for kids but mainly all ages, and he put enough suspense in it to make it work. Now, in terms of the casting, I believe there was loads of people who auditioned for their many roles in this movie. I mean, Sam Neill was chosen to play Dr. Alan Grant, but from what I understand from my research, Harrison Ford was also considered for the role. But Harrison Ford has often joked about Steven Spielberg never asked me, and Steven Spielberg has often joked that Harrison Ford said no to the role because he was busy with another film that year, 1993. Although I can't remember what that film was, but it was a successful film. Ian, Ian, the guy with the glasses, played by Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum did a great job. I mean, he was in The Fly, and he made his movie debut in the first Death Wish movie with Charles Bronson. Love him. Did a fantastic job. And from what I hear, Jim Carrey was also considered for the role of Ian as well. And I thought to myself, how did you pull that off? Because Jim Carrey's a comedian. But if you notice, in all of Jim Carrey's films, he's mainly a comedian. But when he's in a film like The Man on the Moon, he's more of like in a serious role. So I reckon he would have pulled it off. I mean, can you imagine Harrison Ford and Jim Carrey working together in the same movie? The chemistry that they'd have in this movie. Because you see scenes in this movie where Dr. Alan Grant and Ian are like having like these beef moments, where you're having a crush on the woman and they say things, Ian, freeze! And the flare scene, where he makes a dinosaur, the T-Rex chase after the flare to save the kids. So imagine like the chemistry they would have had between Harrison Ford and Jim Carrey, because I like Harrison Ford, I like Jim Carrey. Harrison Ford was like in the Indiana Jones movies, he was in the Mosquito Coast. He was in memorable roles. But on with the review, I'm nearly 6 minutes in. Basically, there's this amusement park opening up called Jurassic Park, and the main attraction is dinosaurs. John Hammond has brought the dinosaurs back to life from extinction by cloning, by finding a bug in a fossil and getting the dinosaur DNA from it and making them dinosaurs basically for tourist attractions. And in the meantime, Sam Neill's character is digging up skeletons of dinosaurs, and he's been asked and hired to come to Jurassic Park to give his site some viewers as like a tourist attraction before the grand opening. While all this is happening, we get introduced to some characters like the two kids who are John Hammond's grandkids. They're on board with it as well, and they eventually agree at a good price. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Wayne Knight, who plays the famous Denny Nedry, he didn't say the magic word, a greedy hacker who works for the Jurassic Park maintenance team, who's a computer expert. He's doing illegal business with Donson, to try and steal the dinosaur embryos off the island and deliver them to him. He gets delivered 1.5 million when all along he wants 750 was on delivery. 1.5 million is the going to be the full amount when he gets the dinosaur embryos off the island. Don't get cheap on me, Donson. That was Hammond's mistake. He's a legend, Wayne Knight. I love Wayne Knight. He was also in Space Jam. But every actor in this movie played their character right down to a T. Everyone was so into their roles. They pulled them off really well. So while Sam Neill's character and the kids and Ian and his girlfriend and all that are all having a tour around Jurassic Park, Dennis Nedry is like making plans to steal the embryos, and in the process he shuts down like all the security systems and all the electric fences around the park, and all the dinosaurs escape, which causes Jurassic Park to get its own destruction. So due to him being greedy and stealing the embryos, at the same time all the dinosaurs escape and causing havoc on the island. So you can say Dennis Nedry was to blame, for all the havoc that was happening all on Jurassic Park, because he steals the embryos, he tends to escape, but he comes to his demise, because he crashes his jeep in the storm, and the Dilophosaurus eventually eats him, and the can of embryos get buried in the mud. And while all this is happening, people are getting killed one by all the dinosaurs, particularly the Velociraptors and the T-Rex. And, Sam Neill is trying to protect the kids, get them to safety. And in the meantime, they see sightings of the dinosaurs, and they encounter different species of the dinosaurs, like the Brontosaurus, the Stegosaurus, Triceratops, that was sick at the time. And it's all suspense scenes from start to finish, particularly with the kids when they're trying to, when they encounter the dinosaurs. Basically they're just trying to get off the island in one piece. That's basically what the film's all about, And what a great idea. I mean, what a great idea by Steven Spielberg. The fact it's an amusement park, someone in the park is trying to escape with the embryos, so they shut down all the security systems, and all the dinosaurs escape from their fences, and they cause havoc on the island, killing everybody, and they have to get off the island in one piece. That's basically what Jurassic Park is in a nutshell. You know, so but we've all seen Jurassic Park by now. I mean, if you haven't seen Jurassic Park by now, you're missing a hell of a classic. Like I said, this movie came out in 1993, and I have to say it's one of Steven Spielberg's finest work. But also, I've also seen other films of his like Jaws, Indiana Jones, E.T., Inner Space. You know, so many great films by Steven Spielberg, but this has to be one of his masterpieces, the first Jurassic Park movie. You know, and eventually they do go to safety. There's like electric fence scenes where the little boy Timmy gets electrocuted by the electric fence. You know, and I think the suspense work. Steven Spielberg did a great job making all the suspense work in this movie. Particularly the goat scene, you know, when the T-Rex eats the goat and the leg of the goat lands on the glass ceiling roof of the Jeep. You know? Just little scenes like that are like, oh my god, what's going to fucking happen? And the T-Rex, you know, crashing through the ceiling Jeep roof to eat the kids, and the kids are screaming hysterically. You know, all really well done, some great effects and some great camera work. I know when you look on YouTube these days, there's like, they're like demonstrating all the bloopers and all the camera effects and all the things like that. I know it's doing that like in today's day and age, but when you watch that video, you do see like the mistakes Jurassic Park did while filmmaking. But you know, it's irrelevant stuff. I mean, you don't need to watch movies like that, you know, just to spoil the movie like Jurassic Park. But again, it was a movie that didn't need sequels. I mean, the film had the perfect ending. You know, John Hammond, the grandkids, Ian, the girl, and Sam Neill's character escaping on the helicopter from the park. You know, the T-Rex roaring at the end after when he battled with the two velociraptors. You know, and it was given the perfect ending. You know, but with that being said, I still enjoyed number 2 and 3. I saw them both in theatres when they came out, but you know, they don't hold a candle to the first movie. You know, I still think to this very day it would be very interesting about how Harrison Ford and Jim Carrey would have worked together in a movie like Jurassic Park, and if we could have took Jim Carrey seriously, because we're all used to him to being this over-the-top energetic comedian. How would he be in a serious role like Jurassic Park? You know, but he's an outstanding actor. I would have loved to see how he would have paid off. You know, and Harrison Ford being Sam Neill, you know, Dr. Alan Grant. That would have been interesting also, because he's like the Indiana Jones character, and he's a similar character, Sam Neill, to Indiana Jones, you know, with the hat and all that kind of thing. But Jurassic Park has become big over the years. I mean, I remember when I went to Universal Studios in Florida, the whole setting of Jurassic Park, the Jurassic Park water rides, and, you know, everywhere's Jurassic Park. I mean, even the realistic velociraptor costumes that they've got at the Universal Studios in Florida, like, really make it all stand out, make it look very realistic, and they've done a great job of it. They've done a fantastic job of it. So yeah, overall on a whole, Jurassic Park, the first movie, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. We saw the movie moments ago, and I'm glad I saw it. It never gets old. It's just one of those movies where if you're just really down and you want your mood lifting up and you want to watch a classic that will bring back childhood memories, then I really do recommend Jurassic Park, the first movie. You know, one that came out in the year of 1993. So many great movies came out that year, and Jurassic Park is definitely going to be like on the top of that list. You know, but that's my review, everyone, for Jurassic Park. Really glad I saw it again, and despite me seeing it millions and millions of times, I never get tired of it. You know, I haven't seen 2 and 3 as many times as the first movie, but I will rewatch those movies before I review those next. So that's Jurassic Park, everybody. Thanks for watching this, and again, I'd like to hear your thoughts and views on Jurassic Park, the first movie in 1993. What do you think about it? Please leave a comment in the section below, and hopefully we'll get a conversation started on it. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and checking out this video. Peace out.